Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Murdered Soul Suspect, where we are taking a hike toward the Judgment House to judge, to have a judge, to do a judgment, and it's gonna be and the judges will give us all straight 9.5s across the board. It'll be fine. Ah, here, right. Let's go.
I always heard this place was such an interesting museum back in its heyday. Now it's just a place propped up by rusty nails and rumors. A place you wouldn't dare your worst enemy to go into. Alright, there it is, Judgment House. Huh.
Is the Blair Witch home?
The place isn't so abandoned after all.
And the Baxter police car, probably.
I hate it when I'm right.
Do you? Really? That's kind of a bad thing if you're a detective, my dude. Alright. I feel like we've seen spookier things than a door lately, so I think we're fine. Find the upstairs room with the light on, and all the walls are consecrated and can't be gone through. That's fascinating. 10 more to uncover ashes to ashes. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Poem 1. She who does the devil's dance shall drop and crack and sway, and jig upon the rope, perchance the devil's dues to pay. Right on. Poem number 2. Unnatural bridge of ghost and flesh, you harvest souls as though a friend. You cut with scythe, with pitchfork thresh, until you meet your righteous end. Right on. Right on. Here, thing, yes. Give. Thank you. This does remind me a bit of the Blair Witch house in the soft reboot Blair Witch. I'm not sure if it's like a full-on reboot or a soft reboot, but you know, that one. It was a roller coaster ride as far as you know, a movie theater experience goes. Poem 3. Let man beware who keeps so foul a witch from a harm beneath his wing. She casts her spell upon his soul and wreaks damnation's reckoning. That doesn't rhyme too well, though. I think at the midpoint, but. Poem 4. To rid the land of nature's guilt through exercise of power requires more vigilance than thou wilt this always judgment hour.
Holy shit. Look at all this crap. What is this? Oh, fresh paint. This one's just been done. The witch who flew from her own mother, herself a witch, herself in flight, shall meet her death like so many other, and leave both realms this very night. Oh no, that's about Joy. This looks like the Bell Killer's war.
The killer is focused on Joy.
Room. should check this all out.
Check all of it out. Third hanging victim discovered. Bizarre hangings in 3 recent murders harken back to Salem's shameful past. Witch trial similarity. Salem has a history of killers apparently referencing the witch trials, similar to the Bell Killer. Personal items. Trophies. A collection of what seem to be personal items taken from the Bell Killer's victims, maybe? Alright. Murderer's past. Map of previous killings. This map shows the location of all of his murders, but in a far more detail than the police know. Right. Execution devices. These are the methods the killer used to murder the victims and how each one of them died. Can't tell if he's consistent or schizophrenic. Right. Friday, December 18th, 1903. The devil made me do it. Mayor Studer deflects blame after being charged with a series of torturous murders. Old Salem Murders. There were torturous killings in Salem over 100 years ago. Right.
Wait. Similar murders, multiple killers, decades apart. Is this a string of copycats? A conspiracy?
Copycat killers. Similar murders have been happening in Salem for over a century. Is this a string of copycat killers?
What else did you hide in this house, you freak? What was that?
A door. The important question is there demons? Yes, there is. Damn. Again, the worst bit of the game rises its head again, as it always does. Alright, turn around, you piece of filth. Yeah, that's not a good approach angle at all. Right. Oh boy. Hello. Have a good one. Bye. I pressed the button, but the game was like, nah. Again, the worst bit of the game rises its ugly head again. Bad mechanics, bad ideas, bad logic, just bad, and it didn't even work properly. And even the hiding is made just bad enough that it's basically impossible to hide from them long enough to not reset their aggro. Like, they keep aggroing over and over again when they catch a glimpse of you in these hidey holes, and they check every hidey hole, and you can't hide past the demons. Not really. So it's all garbage.
The vibrations I'm getting from this house are off the charts. It's like the museum. The old violence tries to take over the new. I have to tell Officer Baxter about this. This could be a vital piece.
Sensing Judgment House disturbances. Joy's mother senses unusual spirit activity in Judgment House. Unusually strong, unusually vitriolic, and just plain unusual. Cool. So I got one category of collectibles complete. Oh, one more. Come on. Oh, I didn't kill him though. Yeah, that's true. Man. I mean, I already pressed the button to execute them, and then the game was like, nah, we figured that you press the button to kill the ghost, the demon, at the exact right moment, but you know when you get the feeling that you really just don't want to give it to the player? Yeah, we're gonna just do that because we're assholes. I did it again. And this time that's probably gonna kill me. Alright, game indeed. This is a little worse than I remembered, I have to admit. I do remember being annoyed, and then I gotta kill them both again flawlessly. So, these sections suck all of the ass. Death animation is funny. I'm glad someone can gain some amusement from this. Because this is just bad. Proper terrible game design. And with an execution mechanic that doesn't actually work to be just that little extra tiny bit more fucking terrible. Alright. Alright, there's probably some collectibles I'm missing here, but I've missed a bunch, I'm sure, so... Ronan the Stranger. It's like I don't even know him, and I felt so close, but to a man in my imagination. I would think that something like a criminal record should really come up earlier in a relationship. Should it? It's not even his past that is keeping me away now, it's that he didn't tell me right away. That is a really weird thing to assume, I think, from, like... The moment you meet, you need to tell everything about your criminal past, because that's how humans apparently work. He said his tattoos made it obvious, but I don't know. Not obvious enough, I guess. It might be too late for us. That's a weird collectible here, because we know... Like, this is basically the first thing she's probably thinking, and we already know from later on that it all worked out. But yeah, there's 23 of these. I found one. They're impossibly well hidden, and I found one. Whoa. That's quite something. Because I'm pretty sure this is the final area of the game that I can explore as like a new thing. Like, we're gonna maybe retread some places still, but this is the only new place in the game left. Colonial kitchen plaque. The small kitchen area inside the house was used by servants for tea preparation, but not for major meals. Those were prepared by slaves in a detached kitchen because of the danger of kitchen fires in colonial times. The danger of fire was very real and common. The house probably had half a dozen different kitchens in its time, and there is none left standing on the grounds today. Buttons, buttons, buttons. Really? 4 demons. And I'm not seeing any hiding places either. Whoa. Like, they really felt like they needed to make it just a terrible time to play this. Oh, wow. There really aren't any hiding places. Why did they do this? Like, I mean, they chose to make their game proper garbage. Wow. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Yeah, it's not gonna be long enough to make me kill that person. Alright, but if any of the ghosts catch me for even a millisecond, I'm immediately dead and have to start this whole thing all over again, because there is no hiding places. Like, why would you make such terrible... Like, you did so much work to make your game considerably worse. Like, good God, you people who made this. Why? Right. Judge's Diary, February 4th, 1693. The witches are all released and Governor Phipps will not permit further prosecution. Yet it is this girl I fear most. I did threaten her with pressing, and with glee she did tell me of the tortures of her own father, who pressed and ducked her unto drowning. Would she not accuse his enemies? So I am not the first man to use this creature, and she is not afeard of my rebukes. Those who see the spirits of unnatural worlds are as conjurers to her, and she will not be dissuaded in her pursuit of them. She must be destroyed by any available measure of the law. I'm having trouble fully understanding that text line, but I think it's describing like it's a hint toward a big bad here. Colonial parlor plaque. The parlor of the judge's house, what we would call the living room, was one of the more spacious indoor areas available for holding trials. The witch trials were sometimes held here and sometimes in another public building, such as the tavern. Like, it's just that, like, I realize it's probably by design that that it's hard to discern this text here, but the game does sometimes suffer from writing that is oddly confusing to read. Like, I mean, it makes sense on this one since it's like from the 1693, so it's a fine, you know, it works as a notion of difficult to, like, it makes sense it's hard to understand, but the text in some other texts has, or the writing in some other texts has also been oddly difficult to quite understand what the sentence structures are trying to say. I'm getting too sleepy to continue watching, so gotta go to bed. Thanks again for the stream, and have a good night. Hey, and have good sleeps too, Rosie, and hope the workday tomorrow goes well. And I'll see you tomorrow. So have a good sleeps, and thanks for watching, though. And I'll try and pursue the game's storyline to its conclusion, hopefully today. We'll see. Provided that I sign indicating seller or holding cells. Alright. Damn! Man, that was quite close. If I would have died there, it was the whole room all over again. That is, man, that is just obnoxiously bad game design. Jesus. All right. Oh, hello. Man, I hope there's nothing else to be discovering here. In terms of enemies, pondering the proposal. What stopped me from saying yes to Ronan? Maybe it's marriage in general? I always thought I'd just be an independent woman in this world. I may not have processed this possibility enough, but I can't let him go, can't. It doesn't make much sense that these are like scattered all around these spooky buildings, but, you know, I do appreciate the notion that all the collectibles build some background lore. Alright, let's go. Please, no more demons. I so don't have the patience for them.
Oh my God, Baxter? I should have been the one that stopped you.
Ronan? What the hell is going on?
You sick bastard. Why'd you do it? Why'd you bring back the witch trials and kill all those innocent girls?
You think I'm the Bell Killer? Are you insane? I've never killed anyone. You gotta help me. What is this place? We gotta get out of here.
Oh, we gotta get out of here. All of a sudden, we're buds. You need to tell me what's going on here.
What were you doing here?
What were you doing here?
Following a lead. I never dropped the case. Had this psychic, Cassandra, working with me. And we figured out the Bell Killer is hunting mediums. Like a witch trial execution copycat. At that point, we couldn't let it go. Even after Rex demoted me.
So that's why you're at the museum.
So, where's Cassandra?
Do you know where Cassandra is? Is she still alive?
Last I checked, yeah. I took her to a safe house outside of town.
Oh my God, she's alive. I was sure she'd be dead too. Joy would be freaking ecstatic. She shouldn't end up alone.
Okay, Cassandra in safe house. Baxter moved Cassandra to a safe house outside of town when the Bell Killer threat against her became real. Alright.
Cassandra ever bring up her daughter?
Wouldn't shut up about her. We looked for Joy for days, but it was too risky. Cassandra has been begging me to track Joy down, but I haven't found her yet.
You're not gonna believe this. Joy's been helping me tonight.
Figures a cop like you would need help to get this far.
You mean like what? The help you got from her mom?
Right. A-holes be a-holes. Baxter knows Joy. Baxter knew Joy this entire time and was trying to find her and make sure she was safe.
So, who killed you?
The Bell Killer, you idiot. But I didn't get a good look at his face.
Bell Killer murdered Baxter. The Bell Killer murdered Baxter in the Judgment House cellar.
Where's the killer?
No idea. He could be anywhere, but when we fought, he said something I didn't understand at all.
Wait. The killer actually talked?
Not much, but I think I hit a nerve. I told that bastard he'd be dead soon, but he said, I already know death. And then something about his instrument of death will kill again tonight.
My instrument of death? But he kills different ways every time. I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
We gotta figure out what that means. All right, you get back to Cassandra. Make sure she's still safe and bring her back to the station.
No, don't bring her in town.
I'm gonna quickly check out the cellar and come up with a plan. I hope.
If Cassandra's still alive, she's alive because she's in the safe house. Do not bring her anywhere from there, you morons. Killer's instrument of death. The killer is planning another murder tonight with his instrument of death. Right. Find out if the killer is still in Judgment House. Here's something. Colonial Cellar Plaque. That's pretty lucky, like, without a guide. The cellar in the home of a judge was often the temporary jail for prisoners awaiting trial. This custom was certainly in practice here, where witch trial suspects were held awaiting the judgment of Judge Hawthorne. Long-term holding facilities were unnecessary in these cases, as the penalty for witchcraft under English law was always death. Oh, goody. Just get a quick look around once more to make sure there's nothing. Yep. Seems like that's everything. That is the question. Cage. Why would you need to cage someone who is already locked in a tiny cell? Now, that is a dark little closet. So here, accusing, stern judging.
You claim righteousness, but you know your guilt and cannot deny your punishment is due.
Righteous man. The angry man points in the cell and claims to his accused that punishment is due. Oh, cool. Candles. I bet these did almost nothing to combat the darkness down here. Well, with no other... It's a lot better than nothing, for sure. I wonder. That looked like a very... it looks like an old... I'm wondering if the tiny... or the kid from the beginning is gonna turn up. Yep. Singing, sure. Imprisoned pleading, probably.
You stood for justice. How is this just?
Imprisoned Abigail. Abigail was held prisoner and thought this punishment was unjust. You don't say. You feel like burning as a witch is unjust? That's shocking to me. And a bell. Symbol in the cell. The bell killer symbol was once drawn in the cell, but by whom? maybe by Abigail herself. Although I'm not sure why she would do it here now when she's being the accused. I don't know. Maybe it's had like an old meaning of some sort of a thingamathing. That's not a bell originally, maybe. Still missing a couple of things though. How far away from here can I go to not? Okay, it stops there. Let's see if we can up. Prison bed. That looks even less comfortable than the beds I had in prison. Yep, that is fair point. This room does count as investigation area, and I'm wondering about the skeleton there, but it's not giving me an option to interact with it though, at least not... Yeah. I'm always annoyingly missing one thing somewhere. I can probably already solve the answer with these, but I kind of want to know. Ah. Prison shackles. Makes it feel more like a dungeon than a prison. Yeah. And here we go. What we got here is a symbol in the cell is gotta be important. Imprisoned Abigail as well, and maybe this one?
You claim righteousness, but you know your guilt and cannot deny your punishment is due.
I thought you stood for justice. How is this just?
The courts are not a place for your murderous whimsy. You are a corrupt heathen. The families of those innocent souls you executed through false accusation of witchcraft will exact their righteous justice tonight.
False accusation?
What is that nonsense you draw?
My mark will burn like a brand in the flesh of this town. If it takes me to the ends of eternity, I will personally make the bell toll for every witch in Salem.
Wait. The guy who killed me is... Abigail. She might be the bell killer. How is that possible? I gotta get out of here and figure out how to track her down.
Is Abigail the bell killer? Is Abigail the bell killer? But how could she be? I mean, she did mention instrument of death. So, you know. That might be a clue to that. But okay, so now I can just leave? Please, no more demons, come on. I've been a good boy. Please, no more demons. I so don't have the patience for those.
Dispatch. As Rex checked in, he's transporting a suspect to the station. We can't get him on the radio. He isn't picking up his phone either.
Nope, he hasn't checked in. We'll notify you when he shows.
Copy that.
Oh shit, if Rex is missing, it could be going down right now. Where'd you take Joy, you asshole?
Killer's instrument of death. I think that's important. Abigail the bell killer, probably. Where would Abigail take Joy? No one has been hung yet as a murder method, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Instrument of death, meaning her death, where she was killed. The gallows at the museum.
Oh, that's not what I had in mind, but okay.
Hang on, kid. I'm on my way.
I mean, yes, the gallows at the museum, yes, but that's not what I thought when I, like, instrument of death, as in, I don't know. Track down Abigail. The killer has joy at the museum, because, like, the killing person is a big boy, not a little girl, meaning that the instrument of death may be, like, a possession or something. Killer's gallows at the museum. If Abigail is the killer, then her instrument of death is the gallows at the museum. Well, we'll see. Okay, there's a lot of stuff I've missed here, but I just gotta do it with a walkthrough later, because finding all of the, how many? I'm missing 5 of these side story things here. I have no idea where to look. Like, I can take a quick run around maybe, but I have no clue. I think I found one in there, or at least a collectible in there. And here's the front door again. Can't do much with that. I went to... Oh, actually, I can reveal the stairs. I didn't realize that. Alright. Just teleported through those. But yeah, I'll probably find a few by a lot of looking, but... I just 5, like, Jesus. The problem is there's no compass here, and there's no way to know where you've been. So it's really hard to keep track of where you are. Alright. I'm not even sure if I found all the poems. Oh. Yeah, here's one. But still, 4 more. Yikes. That's 1 more. But yeah, I don't... I have no idea where to go here to find the rest. Oh, here's 1. Game, come on! Thank you. 2 more. That's the... I feel like the cellar is the one place I real thoroughly check, though. Like, if there's one place I got a good check through, it's a cellar. So I kind of have trouble believing that that's where it would be. Hidey holes. Curious that I couldn't walk through this here. Yeah, that's the outside. Right. No way. Ooh. Julia's thoughts. A fight with Ronan. Sometimes that man can be an insensitive beast. I know he's got pressures at work, but home is the place where you let go of all those things. It'll be better tomorrow, I know, but for now, I'm done thinking about it. Alright. Well, I found something, but not really what I was super looking for. A successfully creepy building and all, but... I'm just... One of the polishing touches I would so hard wish for is, like, some sort of a better way to keep track of the, collectibles and a way to find them a little more sensibly. One more. And also, I just... You know, the side stories are like the best stuff in the game, and they're so hard to find. Ooh! I got it! Jesus! Hell yeah! Let's listen to a story! Oh. I'm waiting for the achievement thing to happen. Give me a... Because I don't want it to blare right at the... Yeah, it's like... I found it? There you go. Because I want the story to happen without the plong sound going through it, so... There we are, let's go.
Salem wasn't the most exciting place for a couple of rambunctious 13-year-olds. And playing with my friends after school, they usually required a healthy dose of imagination to spice up the underwhelmingly bleak landscape. To us, Salem's history was just a bunch of creepy stories and tourist attractions. Witches didn't exist, we all knew that. That's why Robbie Barnes was the laughingstock of the entire school. He actually believed that they were real. Looking back, I wish I hadn't teased him so much. Maybe then he'd still be alive. I forget which one of my friends actually came up with a plan to prank Robbie, but it didn't take him long to get us all on board. My job was to find an example of an old spell. It took me all of 15 minutes. And the library had practically every book ever written on the subject. The next step involved the Judgment House. It sat up on the hill, abandoned. Everyone said it was haunted. What made it even creepier were the rumors that Judge Hawthorne burned the remains of accused witches in the house's various fireplaces. That's where Robbie comes in. We dared him to sneak into the Judgment House in the middle of the night and collect a handful of ashes from each of the fireplaces. Then he'd have to light some candles, sprinkle the ashes, and read the spell. We told him that if done correctly, the spell would supposedly blow out all the candles. If he agreed to do all this and the candles so much as flickered, we would promise to stop making fun of him. We could see that he was scared, but to his credit, he agreed to go through with it. What we didn't tell him was that we had set up a hidden camera to catch all the hilarity on tape. The next day, Robbie didn't come into school. We assumed he had chickened out and was too embarrassed to face the music. Then I heard that Robbie went missing. I felt the chill run down my spine as I retrieved the tape from our hidden camera. I pressed play and fast forward until I saw Robbie. He was doing just as we instructed him to. But then, a shadowy figure crossed in front of the camera. Robbie turned in horror just as the camera cut to static. When the image finally returned, Robbie was gone. And the only sign that anything had happened at all was the now smoldering fireplace over in the corner.
I hope they gave that to the police as proof of the supernatural, among other stuff, but still, I like those stories. They have a, they're some of the more interesting stuff in the game. I kind of like it. Alright, I'm glad I found it though. The heirloom, I'm missing one from the graveyard. It's a huge area, I just didn't know where to look anymore. The Eternal Flame is the one that's the entire overworld map, same thing, no idea where to look. I have no clue. So those I gotta do with a walkthrough on my own, and I encourage anyone to maybe, I'm sure they're somewhere out in the internets, those stories. Alright, so where was the front door again? There we go. Alright, back to the museum. Let's go. Hopefully I can find it without too much trouble. Ah, here we are.
No one deserves to be murdered. And when the psycho trying to kill someone pretends there's some grand justice behind it, that just makes it all the more twisted.
I think the message in the front was like a point of no return warning, but I mean, I'm not gonna stop right there and then do like a, a walkthrough, run through of the collectibles on that. It's not, doesn't make much sense. I think the better option is to maybe do a fresh save file and then from start to finish just run through the game with the video walkthrough of the collectibles. That's probably the best option, honestly. Because otherwise, like, I wouldn't know exactly what collectibles I'm missing. There's probably not a good guide for like, hey, I'm missing this one thing from this category and I have no idea what it's called and blah. And I'm missing all of the graffiti anyway, meaning I would need to go through every area of the game nonetheless. So So this does suggest we're probably nearing the end of the game. Hi!
Ronan, help!
Not another step.
No, not you, Rex. This has nothing to do with her, Abigail.
Oh, but it does. For 300 years, we have executed the witches who corrupt our fair city.
Down there. Let's go.
Those who try to mask their demonic contract. and leverage powers they should never possess.
Just like you have.
Don't you dare compare me to her!
Easy, easy.
Put your hands up!
Help!
Don't do anything stupid.
Hands up! Stop what you're doing. Hands up! Do it now!
Abigail, stop!
Well then.
Rex, you piece of shit. What are you doing? Not now. This was you.
Want you getting closer to the truth.
Ronan, do something!
Well then.
Tight, kid. I'm on my way.
Somehow. Okay, we have a timer. How can I save Joy? What can stop Abigail? Scream! Let's go!
It's over, Abigail.
No clue. There's no time.
No! No! No!
Joy!
Whoa. Do the cutscenes happen all over again? Oh, wow. I mean, I can skip them, but wow, that's stupid. Again, this game has a lot of strengths. Anything involving conflict or like hurry or something along those lines, none of that is that's not a strength. Holy crap, that's bad. Like, there's no time to even consider figuring anything out there. So I might need to just Google this. There's no way, like, the game doesn't give you enough time to actually even try to figure anything out. All right, so murders. I'm not watching through that again. There's no reason to. There is nothing to do. Like, there's 7 seconds in which time you have no time to look at anything, and the game ends. And need to skip through the entire cutscene every single time to get another 1.5 second look into a 90-degree different angle of a direction. That's just bad game design. Save Joy. Let's see. All right. Okay, IGN is being a bitch, so can't use that. All right. Dart towards Abigail, grab her by the hand. Select. Okay. Why would that work? There's no reason to think that would work.
The time is upon us, Abigail Williams.
No.
You scourge of Salem, it is time to pay for your sins.
This can't be happening. You want to use memories against me? Two can play at that game.
I know the truth about your death, but I still don't know the truth about mine.
Well, probably I was killed by either Rex or Baxter or something.
Did you use Rex to kill me?
Rex was my most influential. The most respected, the most feared official in town. Of course I did.
Okay. Rex was used to kill me. Abigail did use Rex to kill me, my own brother-in-law. That's nice.
How could Rex have done it? Rose's killer had blue eyes.
Different killer.
I didn't use the same killer for every murder.
Baxter.
Baxter was used as a killer. Abigail used Baxter to kill Rose. Ooh.
Why did you kill Baxter?
I eventually kill all the killers I use. Especially the ones who get close to the truth.
Abigail kills her killers. She eventually kills all her killers, especially when they get closer to the truth. And why did you kill me? Well, one, I was in the way. Second, close to the truth. Third...
I wasn't close to the truth in the apartment.
Wasn't I?
I wasn't one of your killers. Why did I have to die?
Well then.
No. I wouldn't. No. No, I wouldn't. How could I?
You didn't? No. Or you didn't, not as such.
You made me kill her. If I'm going out, you're coming with me. We all got a dark side, sometimes obvious, sometimes not. If we're lucky, we keep our dark side hidden. By law, Rex was a killer. But the law doesn't always see the truth. Fortunately, Joy did. And she would never press charges. She might even help Rex cover his tracks.
She's not the helping type, though.
One thing's for certain. She's a better person than I was at that age.
Really?
A kid who deserves forgiveness. She's paid her dues. And committing a few small crimes, searching for your mom, well, even the coldest cops would forgive those.
I mean, not about the crimes or anything, but just like
Hasn't been a
she
bell
was
killer
rude.
murder since the night Abigail met her final end. But the case never officially closed. But memories fade, time heals. With luck, Salem will move on and find peace. Death repays debts, my father always said. Forever I believe that. But truth be told, this life ain't over until you're honest about what you owe. Set everything right. Settle your debts. Only then can you move on.
Ronan?
Yay! We went to detective heaven. There we are. There we are. Right. So, while indeed the demonic sneaky combat sections were slightly worse than I even remembered, although the broad strokes were exactly as I did remember them, I just didn't remember the hiding from between being seen and the fact that the checkpoint system for them is that unforgiving and sort of like just busy worky and pointless. But that's like really the big blemish. Beyond that, I think this is a deeply underrated game still. Like, it's... If one enjoys, creepy atmosphere and detective gaming, like, it's... This has that in spades. And honestly, the puzzle solving with the clues and stuff to create the cracking of the evidence, if you will, it was a tiny bit more, thinking man stuff than I remembered it being. So that's also nice. So it wasn't just like pick up stuff, you're done. You need to think a little bit. So that's something. So but still not too hard to be unfair or obtuse or whatever. The hotspots for really interacting with the evidence could have been a little bigger. Like, that is a blemish I didn't remember. Not a huge deal, but just enough to make it a tiny little bit more tricky to get a hold of them than I remembered. But, like, yeah. I think this deserves more credit than it did get back in the day. It has a huge problem with the demons. The demons are bad. They suck. They're terrible game design. But they're not the whole game, though. Like, when the demons are not around, it's actually a pretty fun detective game with its own... that you play at your own pace, and you just take in the atmospheric world. I really enjoy it. And while it doesn't make a lot of sense that there's these thoughts by the wife scattered around in pages around like the murder cabins and whatever, but still that the collectibles all have a bit of a text to them, that they're not just like pointless Assassin's Creed feathers or indeed coffee thermoses from a certain fun, good Alan Wake game, but the coffee thermoses make no sense, or are uninteresting. Let's put it that way. Like, they don't have anything. The difference being, as the Alan Wake example, collecting the pages in Alan Wake, very fun, very good. They add story. It's really good. But yeah, so I always enjoyed the notion of just having these small snippets of lore in all of the collectibles and stuff. It really built something for me. I like that about this. And there is that. What else? What else? Oh, and yeah, the side stories were about as good as I remembered them being. I feel like they were some of the more interesting storytelling in all of the game. Like the short horror stories about the thing. They're maybe a little more difficult to completely find than would maybe be sensible, because they're the best stuff in the game, and some of them are borderline impossible to find. So it may be a bit of a misstep there, but there's a good heart in that notion of at least having them in there. So there is that. It's kind of hard to think of like a number out of 10, because it's a deeply flawed, or it has some very big flaws in it, but the good stuff is really good, and they're sort of almost separate from each other. So not really deeply flawed, as more as like at points very flawed. And around those points, the rest of the game and the core of the rest of the game is very good. So yeah, and well, maybe it just happened to be a game that really fit what I was looking for back then, and still am. Like a detective game, I'm in. An atmospheric, slow pace, thrilling, scary-ish atmosphere, I'm in. Very few insta-kills with the exception of the demons, because there's gotta be the demons. But beyond that, there's not like someone chasing you around the corridors all the time, which is always the worst kind of horror. As I've mentioned multiple times over, I despise Amnesia and Outlast so hard, because all of horror is just that genre, and I feel that genre is the most frustrating and most not scary thing in all of video gaming. Like Super Mario is more scary than Outlast or Amnesia. It's goddamn they're frustrating and bad. You know, that's just me, but I genuinely do think that. I find them to be so not scary, it's tragic. Like, they're just frustrating. They're just the, oh my goodness, I'm so scared of the game over screen we keep seeing. Oh, they're so bad. So yeah, this has a tiny bit of the combat mechanics, but it's still, the main focus is the running around, taking in the atmo, detecting, all that good stuff. So yeah. I don't know what out of 10 this is, but it's not a 58 out of 100, that's for sure, or whatever the Metacritics are these days for this. So yeah. What else? What can I really say about... Oh, and the autosave system has some polish that it could have used. Like, one of the side quests got not saved, because you need to actually go back and forth from the main hub town into an area or back to actually save the game for the side cases, which is bizarre. That's honestly bizarre. I there's no other way to put it, but you know, still. Boyo. With that, I kind of think we're probably good to call it a day here. I can't really think of too much else to say about the game's just merits and so on. I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't go as far as to say necessarily it's good, but I do feel it's underrated. And if you remember, you know, someone once said that a game might not be good, but it might still be interesting, and that's for sure here. Interesting for the very least. And I hate the demon bits, but beyond that, I do enjoy this. I do like this. I had annoyed moments here and there, but I had a good time playing it as an overall thing, as an average overall, a decent time. And I do recommend giving this a go. I feel like, you know, there's stuff to discover here for anyone who's into detective games or creepy atmospheres, or maybe even both, like I am. But with that said, we're all done with the game, and I'm very glad I got to finish this here and do the recordings on YouTube as well. So if you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have, please do drop a like or a comment and tell me what you thought about this game, if you have either played it or watched through and have opinions of its quality. And with that said, I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please do drop a like or a comment or subscribe, because it would truly help, and it would make my day. But I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've had an excellent rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next video that I happen to do in the next game. But until then, have a good one, and bye-bye.